just talk a little bit about some of the stuff that you did to sort of go back to the film, revisit the old film, but then kind of come back to this and bring it back up to speed? And then also will you talk a little bit about how you got Corey back involved? Because it's super cool. For a while, that was, yeah.
Well, I can't really claim all that much credit because Hans Rodionov, who's the writer, we had a great collaboration. Hans had brought, was a huge fan of the first movie. So many ways of tying in this movie to that movie. I will tell you though that the deer antlers in this movie we just saw play a kind of a key part in the new movie as well. So that's something, and that was mine for sure. So. But yeah, there's just a million little tiny references from the two movies. And Hans wrote a series of 4 comic books that I guess are just now being released that really sort of explain the 20 years in between. So that's how crazy Hans is.
Do you want to just do you want to talk a little bit about what made you want to come back into this?
Well, has anybody heard the relativity of physics kind of spelled out through the transcripts of the biological study of ancient man? No, apparently not. Okay, well then I guess we'll just go to the simple answer, which is it was a good script. All right, thank you very much. No, it was a long process actually. It was a long, complicated process because obviously this is a film that the original was held in high esteem by many a fan out there, and as PJ so eloquently put it at the beginning of this, that he didn't want to be kind of held up with torches and ransacked.
I still think that no matter what, if I made, Citizen fucking Lost Boys Kane, I'd still.
There's always going to be somebody out there
who critique you.
Yeah. So, in the end of the day, they gave me the original script, which was not by Hans, I guess by somebody else, and it was not a very good script, and it seemed that they were just kind of throwing it together, and I wasn't really interested in that, and not only that, but I wasn't really too involved because they just had a cameo in it for me. And it was something I just wasn't interested in. And then I guess Warner Brothers hired Hans and rewrote the script, and with the addition of Corey Haim's character and Jameson Newlander's character introduced back into it, and something more substantial for me to do. And with that, I liked the new script. And then I heard that PJ was on board. Of course, I had to have a talk with the gentleman, see where his head was at. Talk with Hans, see where his head was at. And the conclusion of it all was that the people behind making it were fans of the first film and planned to do it with honor and hold it in high regard and leave it as a mark or something to live up to, which I took as quite a compliment and was excited about getting into bed with people who actually were lovers of the film. Cassidy Couch, that's all I'm saying.
That's a really interesting question because the first movie is such a time capsule. As somebody who, at the time, wore a lot of those clothes, I gotta tell you, I did. Yeah, that did not age so well. It's like for me, that was like watching, old Soul Trains and seeing people with like big hair and like bell bottoms. I was like, I would rather not make it such a snapshot. So, that's a great question. I very much weighed that, and I pulled back from making it so specifically a part of a bag of trend.
Okay, the role of what and work with who? No, I'm just joking. It was actually a lot of fun. Edgar Frog was one of those characters that, I guess it was pretty much the first character I really created as a kid. Goonies was kind of me being loud. And Gremlins, I was a kid, being a kid. Stand By Me, I was a deranged kid. So there wasn't a lot of stretch going on up until that point. And with Edgar Frog, it was one of those where I actually had to. Thank you, by the way. But with Edgar Frog was actually a character that I had to put together, that I had to become somebody other than myself, that I had to step outside of myself and kind of grow up a little bit, mature, and do something that was a stretch as an actor. And Joel Schumacher sat me down and he said, I really want you in this film. I know Richard Donner was going to put you in the film when he was supposed to direct it. But I don't know that you've got the balls to do this. So what I want you to do is I want you to go home and I want you to watch a bunch of Rambo movies. And I want you to watch a bunch of Chuck Norris movies. And I want you to study all these films and create a character that's a combination of all these guys. And I go, oh, okay, cool. Hold on, let's do that. And somehow I did. And that became Edgar Frog. And when I sat down with Jameson Newlander for the first time, I said, look, this is what I'm doing, and I think you should do the exact same thing, so that we could just, be the same guy, basically. And he's like, cool. So it worked. And here we are 21 years later, and getting to do it again was an amazing thrill. And PJ had such an understanding of the character and what it was supposed to be. It made it a lot of fun. And what made it even more interesting was the fact that there were places that I was afraid to take the character because the way I saw it, there was like no evolution. And the way PJ saw it was like some evolution, and then we met in the middle. So, he really pushed me to go places with the character that I hadn't planned on. And I think you get to see another side, another shade of Edgar that you didn't see the first time around.
I have to say it was kind of shocking when Corey turned up, and he was really insistent that his hair be exactly the same. And when he first turned up, you're shooting and you're like, okay, I'll PJ, come down while they're setting up this lighting thing, and we'll go see Corey in costume. And I saw him in costume with his hair all done, and it was like, oh shit, like what are you, Dorian Gray? Aged 10 minutes.